Amber paid for Kelly's plane ticket out of love, but love doesn't cover costs, especially when your best friend ghosts the whole trip and leaves you holding the debt. Who pays $62 for a trip then bails like it's just a coffee run? That's what Amber kept asking herself as she stared at the unused electronic plane ticket on her phone, the one she bought for Kelly. This wasn't some last-minute favor. This was the trip, the ski weekend they'd talked about for months, and now, it was just Amber and her anger. Amber had always been the reliable one, dependable to a fault. So when Kelly said, "Hey, I really want to go but I can't afford the ticket right now," Amber, like a fool with a halo, said, "I got you." Big mistake. At first it was small signs. Kelly didn't send the money back like she promised. Then she started sounding distant in group texts. Finally the bomb dropped. Kelly wasn't going anymore. Neither was their mutual friend Jennifer. Something about a fight. Amber didn't even know. The whole plan unraveled like a cheap Walmart sweater. Now Amber was out $62 and a dream weekend. She called Kelly straight to voicemail, texted, left on raid. The same friend who once split gas on a Taco Bell run now couldn't cough up airfare she begged for. And the worst part, Kelly played the victim. She said I could go skiing alone. Kelly later scoffed. Who even does that? Ski alone? Well, Amber thought, I could have if I wanted to. I paid for it after all. Meanwhile, Kelly started spinning tales like she was auditioning for a reality show. It wasn't my fault Jennifer bailed. I didn't ask for drama. No, she just brought it in bulk. Amber, nursing her financial wound and growing resentment, decided enough was enough. This wasn't just about the money, it was about principle. You don't ghost a friend after they spot you for a trip. You don't let someone pay your way and then act like they're the problem. It wasn't the ski trip that got ruined. It was trust. Amber held on to that airline receipt like a legal weapon, and as things escalated, so did her resolve. She wanted payback, not just emotional closure. She wanted that $62 in full, in court, with witnesses and maybe even a slow clap at the end. In Kelly's world, skipping out on plans was a right. In Amber's world, it was a debt. And this was just the beginning. Because when the snow melted and the emotional frostbite set in, something else got crushed. She dumped everything I owned on the driveway, then had the nerve to say, "It's trash day, babe. Better get your stuff before the scavengers do." Amber didn't even know what hit. 1 minute, she was working a long shift at the coffee shop. The next, her phone buzzed with a voicemail that sounded like a breakup wrapped in sarcasm. "It's trash day, babe. Better get your stuff before the scavengers do." Kelly had gone nuclear. See, after the ski trip fallout, things between them got tense, real tense. Passive-aggressive text messages, weird vibes at mutual hangouts. And now, Amber came home to find all of her personal belongings dumped on the driveway like leftovers from a garage sale no one asked for. But this wasn't about clothes or toiletries, it was about the hats. Amber loved her cowboy hats. Loved, not the plastic costume kind. These were real deal hand-shaped suede-brimmed brim-to-sole statement piece. She stored them properly, upside down in sweater boxes to protect their shape. They weren't just hats, they were her personality in felt. And now, crushed, she found the boxes flattened, the brims warped, creased like bad origami. The black one, her favorite, the one she wore to that indie concert last fall, was ruined beyond wear. It had a dip like someone sat on it, then blamed gravity. Amber's voice cracked when she held it. "People would laugh at me if I wore this. They'd laugh." What made it worse? Kelly didn't deny it. She shrugged like it was nothing. "I was just helping you move out. Thought I'd do you a favor." A favor. Kelly had weaponized kindness and turned it into sabotage. Amber confronted her face to face. She showed her the creased brim, the destroyed box, the tear in the second hat's lining. She even brought receipts, literal printed receipts. One hat was $109, the other just under one. But Kelly stood there, arms crossed like she was on trial for spilling milk. "I just fixed the hat," Kelly said, waving it off. Fixed. It looks like a wrinkled mushroom. Amber was done. The hats were the line. Not the ghosted ticket, not the fake move-out, not even the voicemail. The hat. Because they weren't just accessories, they were respect, dignity and boundaries, all stomped on with smug indifference. Amber knew what she had to do. She grabbed the receipts, took photos, documented everything, and then she whispered to herself, "You may think it's just a but it's your head that's next." She painted the house, but left my brand new car looking like it got sneezed on by a snowman. That's when I stopped talking and started filing court papers. Amber could have forgiven the trip. She might have even moved past the hat debacle. But then came the paint. Kelly decided to repaint the outside of her house. Some DIY project with her teenage son helping and one Gust's playing tag with the paint spray. A cute bonding activity, until Amber's brand new cherry red sedan, parked on the street, caught a full-blown snowstorm of white specks. At first glance, it looked like dust, but Amber knew, oh she knew, that wasn't dirt, it was overspray. Tiny white freckles dotted the hood, windows and side mirrors like her car had been sneezed on by a malfunctioning snowblower. She ran a finger across the surface, dry, permanent, unforgivable. Amber called Kelly again, this time, no voice. Kelly answered with her classic nonchalant sass. Paint? What paint? First I ruined your hats, now I ruined your car. You're 3 for 3, Kelly, and there's still time left on the clock. Kelly claimed innocence. First I've heard of, she said, acting like the specks were a figment of Amber's hyper-imagination, but Amber wasn't imagining anything. She had pictures, she had the estimate from the detailing shop, $465, to remove the overspray, and she had rage. Amber didn't scream, she grabbed a clipboard, clipped the receipts, the photos, the plane ticket email and even, yes, the hat invoice. She filed a small claims case that read like a soap opera script. Plaintiff, Amber Owens. Defendant, Kelly Dawson. Total damages sought $89,300. Grievances: breach of trust, emotional harm and cowboy hat assassination. On court day, Kelly came in acting like she was auditioning for a sitcom. She smirked, she joked, she called the hat thing a drama queen meltdown, and the car specs barely noticeable, but the judge was not amused. Amber laid it out clean, $262 for the unused plane ticket, $31 for rent. Kelly never paid, a courtroom brimming with receipts and righteous fury. You paid $189 for a hat, the judge snapped, but couldn't pay rent. Even Kelly choked on that one. The verdict? Swift and delicious. Amber won. She didn't clap, she didn't gloat, she just turned to Kelly, nodded once, and walked out of that courtroom with something better than a refund. Closure. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's printed in bold on a court judgment with your name on top, and their signature at the bottom.